Cloud computing is a relatively new phenomenon for the general public that has slowly but surely brought the world of computing to a whole new level. For reasons you will soon learn, the feature that cloud computing really is often pictured as a cloud in which data is stored. For this reason, people often refer to this new computing feature as simply the cloud, and will use it in phrases like, "I store all of my documents in the cloud." We have a very tight schedule for today's presentation. First on the agenda is to discuss the basic idea behind the cloud. Following that, we will look at what the cloud can offer society, what differences it can make. We then will talk about the different sectors of the cloud, followed by the benefits and advantages of the cloud over the traditional PC storage method. And then lastly, the energy usage implications of the cloud will be discussed. The idea behind the cloud computing is actually quite fascinating. Many people use the cloud on a day-to-day basis but aren't aware of what they're actually doing. As you can see from the diagram, multiple devices store data on the cloud, including laptops, phones, tablets, desktops, and servers. The cloud offers its users numerous models, including software as a service, commonly referred to by the acronym SaaS, platform as a service, referred to as PaaS, and lastly, infrastructure as a service, or the acronym IaaS. Using the software as a service model, users gain access to the application software and databases. This software is often referred to as on-demand software because it is usually paid for on a pay-per-use basis or a simple subscription fee. If you are not using it currently, you don't have to pay for it. Platform as a service is used by application developers. In the PaaS models, cloud providers deliver a computing platform, typically including operating system, programming language execution environment, database, and web server. Using PaaS eliminates the cost and complexity of buying and managing the underlying hardware and software layers. In the IaaS model, computers are offered to users. They can be physical, but more often than not, they are virtual machines. IaaS refers to online services that abstract user data from the detail of an infrastructure like physical computing resources, location, data partitioning, scaling, security, backup, and more. This slide summarizes the three models of cloud computing. SaaS for things like email and the like, PaaS used for application development, and IaaS used for systems management. The next part of cloud computing I would like to discuss is the sectors of it, which include the public sector, the private sector, and then a hybrid of the two. The cloud is called a public cloud when the services are offered over a public network. Oftentimes they are free. The public cloud technically offers the same things as the private cloud, but the security considerations may be substantially different. The private cloud, on the other hand, is a cloud infrastructure operated solely for a single organization. It can be managed internally or through a third party, whichever is the preference of the organization. The hybrid cloud is a composition of two or more clouds, one private and one public, that remain distinct but are bound together, offering the benefits of both sectors. A hybrid cloud can also mean the ability to connect services with cloud sources. The next part of the presentation will be dedicated to the general benefits of the cloud, followed by the 6 most highly recognized advantages of it. The benefits include that it is easily and automatically upgraded, it is cheaper to own and manage, it is always running, it allows for productivity anywhere and everywhere, and it offers an offsite data storage unit in the cloud. And here I will talk about the big 6 advantages. One of the biggest advantages of using the cloud, rather than maintaining a traditional storage unit, is that it allows us to trade capital expense for variable expense, meaning that we only pay for it when we use it. We don't have to upkeep a storage facility when we aren't currently using the cloud. Second, it allows us to benefit from massive economies of scale. The size of the cloud computing market by 2013 was $150 billion, and that is all protected by highly developed security systems. Thirdly, the size of the cloud computing system is growing more and more. People keep joining and adding to its capabilities, which benefits all of the users. Fourth, through the adoption of the OPEX-based services, the speed at which data can be managed has increased exponentially. The fifth advantage relates back to some of the benefits I mentioned earlier, and that is that through using the cloud, we don't spend money on maintaining physical service centers. And lastly, the cloud can be accessed all over the world, and this can be seen because countries all over the world are using it. Obviously, the more developed countries do more because they have more access to the devices that give us access to the cloud, but once you join the cloud, your networks reach around the planet. The last aspect of the cloud we will look at is the energy consumption. As you can see, the energy consumption increases over the years, and this is because the size of the cloud is increasing with more and more users. This can be a drawback, but it is only because more and more people are storing data than what was possible with traditional service centers. And now let's do a quick recap of what we've learned. We first viewed a visual representation of what the cloud is. We then looked at the services and models the cloud offers. Following that, we reviewed the private, public, and hybrid sectors of the cloud. And then we looked at the benefits and advantages of the cloud. And finally, we examined the energy consumption of the cloud, which is the only possible downside. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Feel free to contact me using this information with any questions that you might have. And here are my sources.